Alright. Heart's true. Gleipnir has not been seen since our last encounter. This brief respite may be our best chance to quell the Great One's terror. Make way for the saplings, Kupo. We've had plenty of practice cultivating our gardens, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. It was the hardest work, so you can help us with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruption, cleanse the taint and plant a sapling in its place, Kupo. Do it enough times and the Great One is sure to understand that we're doing all we can to heal the forest, which ought to brighten its mood. You'll see it to the East Shroud. You should have no trouble taking care of the rest, Kupo. Your efforts are much appreciated. We will begin without further delay. I trust you will not object to my company. I dare say healing the forest is one task for which I am more qualified than most. I am glad for your company, Kane. Other seats here, are you well enough to leave the city? I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, Izumi has finally grown tired of all my objections and ceases attempts to detain me further. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. It would be an honor to offer words of thanks to the forest for its bounty. Please do, Kupo. A prayer from the Elder Seatser herself will surely hasten their growth from tiny sapling to towering tree. Such is my hope. As Joran did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that it might see through the veil of fear that binds it and remember our covenant. Let us begin by cleansing all traces of corruption in the central shroud. To Green Tier, I sense that the flow of ether has become warped there. Impressive, Cooper. Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance. It is but one of many talents I owe to the elementals. Well then, shall we be on our way? Okay. Ah, it's fine. It's like, what's faster? I'm gonna fly either way, so it doesn't really matter. I shall keep watch for errant beasts. Okay. This blight upon the forest must be cleansed. When you have finished, I shall consecrate the sapling and soil with prayer. I'm sorry, all you around me here, but, you know, you came too close. The taint has been cleansed, but it will only be a matter of time until it manifests once more. In gratitude for your boundless blessings, do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last, the earth is cleansed. There's a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of the sapling, bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm. Of course, Elisitia shall relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know that they can aid in the restoration of the 12-foot. Thank you, and now we must go. To Silent Arbor, there's something foul impedes the flow of ether. Let us hurry. Alright, right next to Quarry Mill, might as well teleport. Also, may as well keep the hot bar as it is, the hot layout. Look, the flowers here have withered and died. I shudder to think what the forest would look like if this were allowed to spread. God, I wish the game would actually show this as well. Oh well. Pray see to the correction that I may plant and bless the sapling. Okay. Misclicked. Not that it makes much of a difference, to be fair. I trust the Mughals are planting their saplings with suitable solemnity and reverence, but if they are not, let us hope their festivities do not draw Gleipnir's eye. The injury has begun to heal, and our next destination lies to the north. Near Hurstmill, I believe. It is faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I am certain it is there. Come. Boop. 1 second. Alright. Let's return. FFXIV. Oh, a fate, really? Why are there so many fates around? I don't see a corruption here. So close to the hamlet is nowhere safe? Where must the people seek shelter from this corruption? It's fortunate that the corruption here is faint. A simple prayer should suffice to cleanse the soil, after which we may plant the sapling. Okay. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow, which leads me to believe that the Mughals have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12 sort of sighs with a contentment I have not felt in a long while. But will it serve to placate the Great One? I cannot say, not until we visit the Guardian Tree. Excuse me, but you're the elder Seatsia, aren't you? What brings you all the way out to our village? Corruption that had upset the balance of ether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and saplings. Thus has the 12 would reclaimed a measure of peace. You have been planting trees? We have. The elementals have suffered much of late, and with these offerings we endeavor to raise their spirits. Elder Seatsia, I've got to protest. What of our people's spirits, we who dread every step we must take out of the doors? That terrible monster is still out there, preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason, and if it doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job. I know that you are afraid, that you and yours still suffer. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that we call the 12 at home, and they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for the blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedy for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties so that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Gleipnir and the suffocating despair it spreads. And so I pray you continue to put your faith in our guardians. And in me. Would that we could, Elder Seatsia, but we've been dealing with death and sickness since before Gleipnir's coming. They say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. We gave her the cure, had plenty on hand, and for a while we thought it would be all right. But by the time we realized it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjurer. That's interesting. It was a sad day for all of us when she passed, but for none more so than her poor husband, Supin. He was beside himself with grief, and who could blame him? And then came Gleipnir to compound our woes. Supin, it cannot be. Do you speak of Easura Supin? Easura? No. Supin was an odd one, but no one would mistake him for Pajal. Supin wasn't even his real name. That would be Elenya, but his wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason, and he caught on with the rest of us. I see. And what did Elenya look like? Well, I'd say he'd seen no more than 30 summers, kept to himself, came and went with nary word at times, though after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture, friendly even. His wife was a sickly lass, but she had spirits. But spirits aren't enough to beat a crewing death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her. He had finally made a new life for himself here. Thank you for recounting Elenya's story. Sad though it was, it has helped me to better understand how much you all have suffered. I promise that you will have cause to celebrate soon. Until then, I implore you again to place your faith in the elementals, and in me. Together, we shall overcome this crisis. Despite what he said, I am certain this Elenia was Iasura Supine. To think that he was living so close by that he was living so close by for all those years, searching for a new purpose and finding true love, only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Pajal empowered by the elementals, could he have saved her? He would have dwelled on this question night after sleepless night. I know I would have. Maybe in the end he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness, for her death, and in despair was consumed. The animosity would linger, endure, and in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose. We have done all we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope that we will be accepted as friends. Okay, where do we go? Evershade. Back to the Great One. Again with a fate. Unbelievable. Whoops, wrong direction. Suffering was Isura's constant companion. It is still. For his sake and ours, we must deliver him peace. Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. May it be enough to receive an audience. O Great One, may I abide ever beneath your bows, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Still the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant. All feeling, passing corruption, refreshed, renewed green, flesh restored. Child of child, covenant honored, friend, friendship, peace. It worked. The Great One speaks for the elder seats here. We were right to follow Joran's example. The corruption is but one aspect of a greater threat. Profanities spawn, despairs orphan, sadness and anger, sadness, death's prayer, one and all. Poison potent, wounds unmending, withering bark, no strength to share. After all we have done, you deny us? After all this Elder Cetsia has endured? She has pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the Twelveswood. The people cried out for salvation, and she answered. The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered. Only you can help us now. If you do not, then we are lost. She is lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. Good people. What are you doing here? We've been depending on the Seedseers all our lives, blaming them whenever something goes wrong, without ever considering what we might do ourselves. Aye, but no longer. The elder Seedseer has gone to incredible lengths for her people, and so her people have come to return the favor. If her plea alone is not convincing enough, then we will raise our voices and support. We couldn't let them make the journey without protection, and we couldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to send with the elder Seedseer and beseech the Great One for aid. We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest. So please, share what you can, however little. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake her. Kane, Covenant's child, walks with man, with elemental, keeper of ancient faith, unbroken. Cannot, will not break faith. To man, render up flesh. Then you agree to help us? Flesh branches, take and join. To oldest elders renew bonds as one stir. Raise up to heaven's covenant symbol, our staff, all join, all bloom, all peace. My duty weighed heavy on my heart, so heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried that I would be found wanting. But by your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither, united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. I, nay, Gridania, is forever in your debt. May I rely on you all once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the Twelveswood and join them to the eldest trees, that we might finally win free of this despair. It shall be done, elder Seedseer. We swear it. Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, it shall carry out the Great One's final construction and cast its cleansing power all across the Twelveswood. Yet I must remind you, my friends, that Gleipnir still stalks the forest. It will not remain idle. It will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger. I admit, for a moment I thought it wouldn't work, but the elder Seedseer moved not only the hearts of the people, but that of the forest itself. The final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One made it sound, and so she must scour the ancient texts before the time comes. and consult with the Seedseer Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well, we still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the Twelveswood. Then, of course, there's the matter of Gleipnir. We will not go peacefully as we work to hasten his demise. When he comes, we must be ready. A path unveiled. Impeccable timing as always, Laverne, but moments ago the Elder Seedseer sent word to go and fetch you. She's already on her way and will explain everything herself when she arrives. Which should be about... no. The children of the Twelveswood, both Moogle and men alike, have sallied forth, branches in hand, to the far reaches of the forest. Soon their task shall be completed. Though the shadow of death yet looms large, they do not allow despair into their hearts. They hold fast to their faith in a brighter future. We shall see their hope rewarded, and by the grace of the Elementals consign these grim days to memory. And we need only succeed in summoning the Ermin Hedge. You may recall that the Great One's words were muddled and esoteric. I believe it was an instruction to carry out this esoteric ceremony in order to expunge the corruption befouling the forest, that a once tainted earth may be begin to mend. For you see, when the Ermin Hedge last was formed, it was to protect the Twelveswood from threats without. The Great One acted as a guardian, embracing the woods as a shield, to shield them as a father would his child. On this occasion, however, we will call upon it to nourish and revitalize, as a mother nurses her child to make them strong against sickness. In channeling the power of the elementals in this way, we can stem the spread of Gleipnir's poison, and the scars of its passing will finally heal. At least, that was the Great One intended to say, I believe. The Seedseer Council agrees with my interpretation and has permitted me to perform the ceremony. I have in my possession a single branch, the final one to be attached to the eldest tree of the Twelveswood. For all that you have done to aid us thus far, I ask you accept this honor. We're better to set the final stone in this new foundation for everlasting peace. You who have sacrificed so much for the sake of others, if we had even a sliver of your courage, we could move mountains. Thank you, my friend. We will find the tree of which I spoke in front of the Leather Workers' Guild. Let us depart. Interesting. This time I'm actually going to walk because it's not that far. Like, not far at all. This is the eldest tree in the Twelveswood? Interesting. From here, the Great One's blessing will spread to every corner of Gridania and send all manner of wicked beasts scurrying back into the shadows. Look to the boughs above, and you will see a spot where the bark has been discolored by age and the elementals. There you must affix the branch. Okay. You ascend the ancient trunk and affix a branch of the guardian tree to the withered bark, as directed by the elder Seedseer. You are quite the climber, and with that all preparations are now complete. Let us return to the guardian tree, and with the aid of the Great One deliver salvation to the whole of the Twelveswood. so trying to get a better look at this. This is supposed to be the eldest tree in the 12s, but interesting. I mean, obviously, it's probably not the correct representation in-game, because, you know, this wasn't planned all these years ago when they made Gridania. But still, good to know, because this looks way older. Anyway, our journey nears its end. I shall be glad to go to bed again without Gleipnir to haunt my dreams. Same. If it is truly Asura's lingering resentment for the elementals that drives the blasphemy, then it will surely come. For the sake of the man he was, I must try to appeal to his reason, but should I fail, then we will have no recourse but to fight. Regardless, this day we shall bid farewell to Gleipnir. Through the branches of the guardian tree, the 12s would become as one. In summoning the Omen Hedge, every ilm of these sacred lands will be imbued with the Great One's nourishing ether. The forest will be empowered to heal itself, to break free of Gleipnir's despair. The ceremony is complex and delicate, and I must maintain focus. I trust you will do what is necessary to see that I am not interrupted. Sure. Gleipnir comes. Defend the Elder Seatseer. Blasphemy, Gleipnir. Are the elementals so deserving of your scorn? Do you hate me too for my horns? I knew a boy once, a boy who called them gifts, symbols of the blessings he resolved to share with the world. Yet the best before me now brings naught but misery and... but misery and death, marks its victims with chains to bind and condemn. To share in its suffering, I was not there for you then, but I am here for you now, to unmake what you have become. I shall begin the ceremony. Stand fast and remember what we fight for. Let's go. What is this? Creeping poison. Poison courses through your veins, causing you to periodically become unable to move or execute actions. Like now, for example. Which... ready. Okay. No, 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 no. Oops. I did not allow you to do anything, my friend. I just realized that he's at 75% health. Cool. Almost complete. You're halfway there, Kaisena. I can only stop so many. Can I? Screwing up our rotation here. Also, I just realized that I have to do something. I want to do it now because realizing it and it bothers me. Okay, that's better. Probably still have to realign it correctly. But the way it is now is already 10 times better than it was before. Okay. Gather them all over here real quick. So that our dear keeper can deal with them. Come on, 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 come on. Fatal poison. Where are you going? Come, you pitiful beast, let us see the contents of your innards. My prayers have been heard. Come on, don't let him die. My embrace shield us. 9%.
By the grace of the elementals.
Point. Okay. I got him.
By the light of the crystal.
Through sacred soil and azure skies, may your compassion flow and swell to banish the darkness. Receding terror, blissful quiet. Blessing, covenant preserved, now and always, child of child. Honor and gratitude unending. For we as well, honor and gratitude unending. We could not have overcome this blasphemy without your aid. In your everlasting grace, I pray you continue to guide we children of the forest. In your boundless mercy, I pray you forgive the lost and forsaken who succumbed to despair. To you, my dear Asura, I promise I shall never forget your words of wisdom. Ours is indeed a gift and a blessing, and a duty to our people I will uphold. Until my final breath, this I swear. The elder Seatseer's childhood friend suffered too much tragedy in his life. Of that, there can be no doubt. But with his passing, he and the realm may once more know peace. And we may finally begin to mourn the innocence lost to his rage. Thank you, Laverne. The great cleansing could not have succeeded without you. The blight has been purged, and the blasphemous beast which bore it laid low. The sacred wood that once held its breath in fear now breathes a long sigh of relief. I must return to Gridania and my regular duties as Elder Seatseer, but I should be glad if you could call upon me there. That is, if I may impose upon you one final time. Oh. Thank you. I promise not to detain you at length. Let us meet again at the Lotus Stand. Yeah. You're good. Lotus Stand should be... yeah. The elder Seatseer awaits you within. Shall I escort you to her? Yes. The Great One's ether flows all throughout the 12-Sword, purging the last vestiges of Gleipnir's poison. The surviving wounded are no longer in danger and have begun to recover at long last. Yay! We have much cause to rejoice, in no small part because of you, my friend. On behalf of Britannia and myself, allow me to thank you yet again for your tireless efforts in bringing Gleipnir to heal. You went above and beyond the call of duty for the sake of our people and their homeland. You were inspiring to behold, not for the first time, I must say. Forgive me, Elder Seedseer, but with this crisis behind us, I would suggest a new course of action. Oh? And what would that be? Rest. In all our time together, I have never seen you so hard-pressed. Surely you are weary and could benefit from a brief respite. I appreciate your concern, my friend, but I cannot. Will not. One day, perhaps, but not this day. But Elder Seedseer. Recent events have given me cause to reflect upon my past, upon lessons that I once thought I had taken to heart. But I did not yet understand the duty with which I had been entrusted when these horns of mine were but chains binding me to a destiny I did not choose. 'Twas Iasua who taught me to appreciate the gift I had been given. Had he not been there to help me keep the proper path, where would my errant feet have taken me instead? He was perhaps the first, but he would not be the last. My brother and sister and countless other kind souls, through their words and their support, have also helped me to continue to find a way forward, even when I thought there was none. This by opening our hearts to one another that we, in turn, open new paths, that we can conceive of greater opportunities and brighter futures. All who live within Gridania are deserving of these gifts, and so I must always be there for them, that together we may journey in safety through darkest night. Not tempted to live wild and free like an adventurer? You don't desire a life for yourself outside of your duties? I'm gonna go with this one. My life is my duties, and my duties my life. I do what I love, and I desire naught else. But if ever there came... Sorry. If ever there came a time when I need no longer serve as Elder Seedseer, I would be forced to consider alternatives. Perhaps I would do the same as Isua and settle down with my beloved. Finding and courting them would make for quite the adventure, don't you think? Regardless of what the future has in store, my present course is clear. So long as we Pajal serve as a bridge between man and elemental, Gridania can weather any storm. And so I will continue to walk hand in hand with my people and my patrons, along a path that we discover together. Cool. That was... I like that. I like that. I liked all of that. Certainly interesting. Though the blasphemy is no more, there are still administrative matters to resolve. If it is not too much to ask, could you bring word of these recent events to our delegates in Razadhan? Sure. It has been an honor and a pleasure, my friends. May the elementals watch over and keep you. Actually, do you have anything else to say? I would gladly go to Razadhan myself in your stead, but the Elder Seedseer is adamant on resuming her duties at once, and so I too must go without rest, but such is the life we both chose. Alright, now we teleport. Welcome back. I pray you have brought glad tidings. Gleipnir Slate, you've brought joy to me on an otherwise uneventful day. Of course, I had complete faith in your success, but had begun to worry ever so slightly when you did not return as quickly as I anticipated. Hey, give me some credit here. I shall report your success to the envoys at once. If we have further need of you, I pray you will answer our call. Yay, battle dance material. Woohoo.